Hey everyone, just a little explanation as to what exactly this video is. Myself and my lovely girlfriend Infinity on Hannah gave a presentation at her college. One of her professors actually approached her, seeing that she was on YouTube and that sort of thing. And from there, they discussed it, talked about me doing YouTube as well. So they had me come up, do the presentation with Hannah, and we kind of went through a bunch of talking points and that sort of thing whenever it comes to YouTube, getting started with the channel, what all we deal with, what all goes into it work-wise, and things that people don't see behind the scenes. We took questions from the audience, and honestly, we were blown away by the reception to it. The students were very, very engaged in this conversation. They were paying attention like the whole time and seemed interested. And we expected, and I know at least me personally, I expected maybe 1 or 2 questions. You can see we got like 20 questions, and a few of those from the audience we do have to edit out just because they were kind of personal questions, or else they're ones that we don't feel comfortable sharing with everyone, or else we kind of had to give a limited answer on it or that sort of thing. So you'll notice a few fade-ins, fade-outs, that sort of thing throughout a couple of the Q&A sessions at the end of this video. It is about an hour long, but for anyone interested in our YouTube process, I definitely recommend watching this. I, for one, and I know Hannah did as well, but I had an absolute blast doing this. I wouldn't trade it for the world. It's a totally unique feeling, and I would love to speak again. I love talking YouTube. It's not something that I get to do in front of an actual audience. Instead, it's normally just me and a camera like I'm doing right now. But anyways, we're going to go ahead and fade into the discussion. Thank you to her professor for letting us use the phone tripod and recorded the whole thing on the iPhone. I recommend turning up your volume the entire way because the audio is not that great. We had to do some processing on it because there was like a whirring sound in the background, so it made the audio even softer than it already was. But I'm going to put captions on for the questions that we got in the Q&A session, and just turn up your headphones or your speakers for whenever you're listening throughout the rest of this video. Thanks for watching. Leave a like on it, and yeah, I'll see you with more extras very, very soon.
YouTube channels. That's what the professors obviously asked us to talk about today. We're going to talk a little bit about kind of what goes into like doing a YouTube channel, the amount of time and effort it takes, what we do on YouTube exactly, when we started, I guess, seeing success on YouTube and that sort of thing. My channel, I've got 2 actually, at ARTV and Beyond ARTV, and yours?
Mine's called Infinity on Hannah. They're both music-based channels.
Right.
You do more like review stuff.
Yeah, that's kind of my bread and butter is kind of music reviews and album reviews, single reviews, that sort of thing. But as time goes on, you kind of find things that you branch out into, like what other people are interested in, that sort of thing.
List videos, top 10, countdowns, other stuff like that.
Right.
Concert videos.
Really anything that falls under music is up for really discussion potentially by us. So as far as when I personally got started on YouTube, I'm coming up on my 8th anniversary on that, of doing YouTube. I started it randomly, completely, one night in my bedroom in high school. And I never thought like it would actually turn into what it did. And we're not like huge YouTubers or anything like that, like just like, oh, this is like how we make a living or anything, but it's getting closer to that for me.
It's a hobby, but it's also becoming like a job. And
Exactly.
It very much is a job. Like we're going to discuss kind of what goes into the background, behind the scenes, everything like that.
Right.
I started about 3 years ago, like right after I graduated high school, just because I was interested in music and wanted to talk about it, share my passion. That's actually how we met each other on YouTube.
Yeah, but if it wasn't for YouTube, I wouldn't have my girlfriend. So that's another thing, another reason why I'm so, I guess, attached to it. So with YouTube over the years, I guess what we've seen in terms of like taking it seriously and actually starting to see a result on YouTube, like how do you like make the right videos? How do I know that I'm doing the right things? Well, there's a few things that you want to kind of make sure that you have, and you can kind of see up on screen. Here I've got my Dropbox open because I've got some of the things that Hannah has designed, obviously with her being in graphic design and that sort of thing. You obviously want to have things that look very visually appealing to people, something like if you're watching a channel, you're watching a video. I mean, you don't think about it, but at the same time, even though it's just YouTube, it's branding as well. And you has your logo. And this logo here started off years and years ago. It started off as like a different form. One of my other designer friends started it. Hannah completely, you rebranded my channel last September on the 7th anniversary of my channel, and went with a totally different theme. But everything from that to just the intro that really everyone recognizes that plays at the start of every video, depending on the channel. It's got the same music. It's something.
We did that in After Effects, so we'll just play that.
And hopefully the sound's on. Simple, nice little riff. It's different for different ones. That's the main one there, and then I've got a weekly series that I do as well on my second channel called 7 on Sunday, a countdown show. And this one starts off with the same thing, but actually moves into the title of the series. So you've got different little things for different ones, and it's not something that you would necessarily think about all the time, but at the same time, everything like that, thumbnail designs, all of the graphics that go along with it, it's something that can help your channel grow. Big time.
Track the audience, and I think we're going to show some thumbnails as well, which I've designed pretty much 95% of your thumbnails.
The majority for the past year or so.
Yeah.
And that's something that's really important to know, honestly, I feel like, because with her doing that, and because the amount of content I put out, I probably between my two channels release between 4 and 8 videos a week. So my hands are usually tied between that, and I work another part-time job on the side as well, which I'm very fortunate. I only do that a couple of days a week now. YouTube is kind of my primary focus at this point. But I put out 4 to 8 videos a week, and I get tied up with editing, filming other things, and Hannah helps me out big time by actually doing the thumbnails and that sort of thing. So the thumbnails are something that drive engagement to the videos, and just obviously having the videos looking like aesthetically pleasing as well.
It's what people are going to see, like to click on the video. It has to be appealing and eye-catching and make sense with the actual topic of the video.
Right, like obviously most of you are probably familiar with like clickbaiting and all that sort of thing. We try to not be guilty of that. I mean, I'm sure everybody does a little bit sometimes in order to get somebody to click on something you know that they're going to be interested in. But at the same time, you want people to actually stay, because engagement is a huge part of YouTube. If you just go and like you have an enticing thumbnail, but then you've got like 1,000 dislikes on the video, no one like actually likes it, YouTube's not going to promote your stuff, because they're going to see like, oh, everybody's downvoting this video and that sort of thing. It's not going to be something
consistent to uploading every single week at least. Like I upload once or twice a week. That like makes my audience know when to come and watch the videos. It's like every Wednesday, maybe Saturdays. Right. You have your Sunday series. It's every week.
Right, and with mine, it's a little bit more sporadic just because of the type of content that I do.
What music's coming out?
Exactly. That and just like whatever else I can cram in as well, honestly, because it's just I have a couple of other running series and that sort of thing, but it's basically whatever I can cram in around like the current releases that are coming out and that sort of thing. So, as far as like the design or the video editing programs and the work that goes in on that end to actually get the videos up in the first place, I use Sony Vegas. Right now I'm using Sony Vegas 13, and
I use Premiere Pro, which we learned in your class, so that's what I use.
And as far as the actual editing time that goes on the videos, I know that you do how long would you say per video normally? On average?
I mean, it just depends on the video, but most of the complex ones that have like a lot of titles and other like visual stuff on screen take like maybe at least 2 hours, but usually I try to get it done like quick because I want to put it up as soon as possible, but it can take several hours, and then on top of that, I do a lot of editing for him as well because he does put out so many videos, so I try and take some of the workload off. It'll work for you basically.
Right. It honestly goes to show, like I was talking about with the engagement aspect of it and wanting people to click on your video, if they click and it's just somebody like maybe like sitting there like on a webcam or something, that's not exactly the most appealing or alluring thing in the world, and it doesn't scream like, oh, stick around for more, keep coming back to this channel or these channels for more videos. So like actually in editing, you can halfway do it, or you can do it all the way and spend the right amount of time, go back and re-edit something if you need to, or if you mess something up in the editing process or anything like that.
I think we're both total perfectionists when it comes to that. Like I it's so hard for me to just like finish a video because I just want to change so many things.
Right.
You know.
And I mean, a lot of that, I mean, like obviously whenever you're editing, a lot of it goes into what you just filmed. And the filming process can be quite lengthy as well. And whenever it comes to the perfectionist thing, yeah, and whenever it comes to the perfectionist thing, I know that I personally will sit there and just do a take over and over again to make sure that I get something right for a video. And at the same time, you could look at it like whenever I started, oh, I'm only getting 100 views a video. Like, does it really matter if I'm getting this right or not? Well, over time,
in the long run, that's going to make people, you know, trust you more, I guess, like want to watch your content.
Right, and instead of like if you just did a one-take video and then left in a long pause or something like that, or if you just
get to the point. Yeah.
Exactly, and that's something that I think we both learned over time is the fact that you really you need to be precise. You need to plan out your videos. If you don't plan them out, you don't have a general outline of what you want to do. You're going to go into this video and it could turn into a 20-minute. It could be a 20-minute video that could have been done in 5. And that's something you actually brought up to us yesterday. Why are so many videos long on YouTube these days? You know, like why are we seeing all these 20 to 30-minute videos? And in the past year, a lot of things with YouTube advertising have changed. The market has really completely changed. There's been the whole ad crisis in the past couple of months, and YouTube kind of retooling exactly how they work with their advertisers on videos and that sort of thing. And I think during that time period, it kind of makes you learn to diversify, know where your subscribers. Make sure, first of all, you've got your subscribers kind of following you on other social medias and that sort of thing. I myself actually have a Patreon account. I'm not sure if a lot of you guys know what that is, but it's basically like a fan funding type thing where instead of just simply relying on YouTube's ad revenue system, which fluctuates daily based on the amount of views. Like, for example, yesterday, I had a great day because I had a video that got a lot of views. And then, not every day is that great. And especially with the whole YouTube ad crisis, there could be days where maybe ads just aren't there to put on your video because ads can be scarce that day. They don't have enough to put out, and they put them only on the biggest channels. So
I think we should explain about the ads is how we make money, basically.
Right, all the skippable ads that you get in front of a YouTube video or something like that. Sure, it's annoying, but at the same time, that's kind of how the content creators on YouTube are actually able to continue making the content that they make. Or even if you're on a desktop and you get one of the ones that pops up. I think those are becoming more rare and rare. Obviously, as most people are watching on their phones or on their tablets or what have you, but that sort of thing, skippable ads is really the main thing that you're going to see on a video. Obviously, you're earning more revenue if you actually watch, say it was a 15-second clip, you're interested in it, oh wow, I watched the whole thing, that's a few extra cents. Every click adds up, over time. So, when did you start monetizing your videos? Were you able to start right away?
Pretty early on. I think I don't know if there's requirements for that anymore, but
I think it's 10,000 total views overall is what you have to have. So it's not a lot. It might sound like a lot, but I mean, it adds up pretty quick, especially for a new channel.
Yeah, so you can start making money, and they pay you every month, but you have to make at least $100 over that threshold, or they don't give you the money. So that can be kind of frustrating.
They'll hold it over. They don't give it to you. They'll give it to you the next month.
You have to make over that before they actually pay it off to you.
Right, and for the longest time, I was making right at the threshold. I was just barely getting paid every month. Yeah, and that was something that it could be disheartening at times, especially if you're just am I ever going to make this a long-term thing?
One of the biggest challenges I think is motivation with YouTube, because if you put a lot of work into something and people aren't necessarily giving you the response that you had hoped for, it's hard to kind of go back and why am I doing this?
Why am I going to do that type of video again? If no one was really interested in it in the first place. But it
takes time for people to catch on to certain things, I think, as well.
Right, but I think that there's a fine line between obviously doing the type of content that you want to do. Obviously, I think we both built something that we both feel proud of and videos that we want to talk about, but at the same time, you know which ones are going to get more views. You know if you talk about this band or this artist.
The more popular bands and songs at the time.
Or even a smaller band or artist that has a hardcore following, a really tight fan base that you know is going to share it out and that sort of thing. Then that makes it that much easier. But before we go any further, let's give some context to actually what we're talking about here. We'll talk channels, but as far as subscribers, we'll go ahead and go over this is my channel here, and you can see like all of like the thumbnails, kind of how they look. All of these that you see on screen, except for one, were designed by Hannah. So yeah, she really does, especially for this channel, do the majority of the thumbnails. This channel currently sitting at just over 60,000 subscribers. And my second channel, which is just an extension of my main channel, you got ARTV, and then you've got Beyond ARTV, and this one is sitting at just over 50,000. So together about 110,000. And I've been on YouTube. Keep in mind, I've been on YouTube for about 8 years. Hannah's been on YouTube for
almost 3 years.
Almost 3 years. And her channel has completely more than doubled in the past year, especially from the time that we started, I guess, kind of talking and being friends. You were at about 6,000 subscribers, I think, or just under 6,000.
This time last year, I think I had.
You had about 9,000, I think, this time last year. 8,000 last year.
Around there, it just keeps growing and growing.
Right. And that's something
almost to 23,000.
And that's something that's always a good sign, even if you're not seeing the feedback that you want to see right away in terms of like revenue and that sort of thing. It's something that you kind of have to keep pushing on, keep driving towards, even though like maybe you're not like you put more. I mean, I put more work into what I do here than I was whenever I was working more at my other job, and I was seeing way less in terms of revenue. But the thing is that I actually enjoy and care about what I do there. My other job, man, not so much.
No.
But it's something that's like obviously I'm very grateful for.
Yeah, we're
at
lucky
the same time.
that we get to actually do this and do get paid.
Right.
You've been pretty successful in the last few months.
Right.
In terms of that.
I just wish that every month was year-end list season, because that is the most financially wonderful time of the year. Year-end countdowns, right there. That's where the money's at on YouTube and music. As far as like a super successful example of like a music type channel on YouTube, someone talking about music and that sort of thing. I don't know if anybody here has ever heard of The Needle Drop, a channel on YouTube, but he's about to hit 1 million subscribers, about 950,000, and his channel is completely. I mean, he's been doing it for just as long as I have. I mean, even before that, he worked in radio and that sort of thing. Yeah, exactly. He started even a little bit before me. I think he's been doing it in blog form since 2007. Started on YouTube 2009, and now he's looking at about 1 million subscribers. And for me personally, what I've seen in terms of growth and that sort of thing, I think over the past 3-4 years, it's doubled about each year, and even last year it was a little bit more than doubled. I went from end of 2014, I think I had 10,000 subscribers, or I just hit 10,000. Then the next year that doubled to about 22,000, and then I went from 22,000 to like 57,000 at the end of the year. Yeah, I saw a huge surge in this channel here. So this channel, I don't know. I think I felt pretty accomplished even like a year ago. The channel is still relatively new. I've had this channel for I think almost 3 years at this point. And if you go back to like sort by oldest, so if you go to oldest, and you can see they weren't exactly. Okay, I've had it for 4 years now. You can see that those weren't exactly. I mean, like, okay, maybe that doesn't look awful, but still, if you actually compare that to like what I'm doing now on this channel, for the most part, there's obviously videos that are going to get more views and that sort of thing, but you can see like how the numbers have kind of turned around, and you can also kind of see that most of those views, the most viewed ones, have come within the past year or so. And of course, Hannah wasn't one of those, so that probably helped boost the views as well. Collaboration can be another key on YouTube.
Something that benefits both of us, obviously. We do a lot of collabs, which is enjoyable for us, because obviously we're dating.
Right. And we
have a lot of fans
that really enjoy
those collabs.
And we also have a podcast that we do.
Yeah, we just started that up, kind of, which is a different way to kind of get, I think, other viewers, or I guess listeners, in for that, like different topics that are more like unedited, just free-flowing thought, just conversation type videos.
Right, I guess more kind of like what we're doing here today. Yeah. This is like a live podcast for us. So we're able to kind of we're used to kind of like feeding off of like a certain topic and that sort of thing, and expanding on it. I think another thing that we meant to touch on before we get away from like the thumbnails and that sort of thing, like what kind of goes into that? Like what do you do as far as like the design whenever you're looking for something?
Yeah, I use Photoshop, obviously. I mean, the review ones, some of these ones up here are pretty much more simple, just him extracted with outer glows, and then I put the album there. And then some of the more complex ones are like this one, or these ones, like
Right.
some of the bigger videos, and some of these ones on here, I think, as well.
Right, like the best hits, like that one right
Just
there.
extract images, you know, try to make them look good, like it's going to make people click on it. Just Photoshop techniques that I've used over the years, and I feel like I've gotten a lot better, obviously, and it does work to get the viewers in, as we can see.
Can anyone guess like which ones I did out of these, the ones that look crappy compared to the rest of them? Maybe I've gotten better, but I still I don't use Photoshop because I haven't had time to teach myself. But scroll back up to the top. I did this one. I'm getting. It doesn't look bad, I guess, but I'm getting better. But like things that I have to do really quick, like a song releases, and I'm like, wow, I want to review this because I know a lot of people are going to watch this, and I have to go to work right after. I just quickly will maybe take a screen grab from a music video or something like that. Make something really quick. Like I'm able to make thumbnails in Sony Vegas and that sort of thing. Like I did this one. And mainly like the track review ones, the ones that I'll do. Like if I got to do something on the fly, or if I'm actually at work. Sometimes I'm just terrible and actually film and work on this in my other job. As far as like the actual videos though, you can see like with the titles and everything, you know, like we're not like really like clickbait type channels. I don't think as far as like driving people to it, it's more about like what you know, the actual content. It's like, I mean, you see top 10 favorite British bands, you're gonna get top 10 favorite British bands.
It's kind of hard to actually clickbait in our little community here.
Right,
it's
because
kind of to the point.
I mean, like I guess you could like the main release new album. You'll never guess what happens next. That's what I feel like some of these channels do. Must watch till end. I'm sure like we've all seen those type of videos. And let me see, like who here like actively like uses YouTube outside? Like, is it like do you actually have an account? Like, do you actually like have channels that you subscribe to? Raise them up. If you actually use YouTube. That's it. That's okay. Okay, we got a few.
Even if you just watch.
Yeah, even if you do this, probably everybody at least casually watches some YouTube videos, right? Everybody. YouTube has grown a lot, and actually, like what it is in its own capacity.
There's so many creators that are making a living off of it.
Right.
A goal of it is obviously.
Right. I think that's something like a lot of people don't understand and really respect is the fact that, especially like an older generation, sometimes often like you know like you go to like a family reunion or something, and they're like, oh, what do you do? Oh, I make YouTube videos.
And they're like, what?
Oh, what is that?
Are you gonna get a real job?
Yeah, when's that? Wait, oh, so you don't actually do any work? And the fact is, and like what we were telling you yesterday, like even on my days off from my other job, they're not days off. I really don't take any days off. I probably spend at least between actually listening to the music that I'm gonna like cover, planning out videos and that sort of thing. I work at least 40 hours a week each week on that.
Very time consuming. People kind of overlook that it is like a job. Like when it comes to writing, filming, editing, scheduling, you know, and the actual ideas that you plan out. Like I have a calendar of like ideas for like the next month.
Oh yeah,
that's one of the hard things about
that can be something that's frustrating too, as far as the ideas and the motivation to go film those ideas. Because sometimes whenever you're sitting there, like before I came here for a few days, I had to get videos ready for the week. I was up till 4:30 after spending an entire day, and went from Saturday at about noon till 4:30 the next morning on Sunday morning in order to get like 3 or 4 videos ready before I left to come here for a few days, just so I could have content ready and just so I didn't leave people high and dry for a week, because a week doesn't sound like a long time to take off, but at the same time, in the world of YouTube and how easily it is to, I guess, pass over and start to forget about people, you don't want to, you don't want viewers to think that you're, I guess, more inconsistent. Like,
that's how people like stop watching. You don't want them to forget about you.
Right, like, oh, they're only releasing a video every 2 weeks now. Say, like, this was her most recent video. Oh, that's 2 weeks ago, and then you upload another one.
Consistent at least every week, so people know when to come watch.
Right.
And they know what you're all about. Like, you actually are serious about what you're talking about, what you're doing.
I mean, and we've seen people even in our own community here, like, that don't upload as frequently.
And they're not growing.
Right, and they've started at the same time, for example, as Hannah, like someone that we know on YouTube. She started same time frame, same type of videos. Exactly. And yeah, she's got about 6,000, 7,000 subscribers, but like a lot of that came while she was uploading consistently. Since she stopped, the growth isn't there anymore. And in that same time period, you've more than doubled your channel just because of the consistency of
I
uploads and
watch
that sort of
someone
thing.
who doesn't upload when you can watch someone who does upload consistently.
And they're making
They're
making the same type of videos, and they're better produced. They look more visually appealing. They've got the thumbnails, the graphics, the effort, everything on a weekly basis. Then I think you're going to be more drawn to a channel like that. I think one of the last things that I think we wanted to talk about was the fact that obviously putting out a lot of opinionated type videos into the world.
Anybody in the world can comment down below anything they want. So.
Exactly. Anything in the comments. Anything that you want. You can be whoever you want online. I don't know who NextFan2727 is in the comments, for example, and they're completely anonymous, so why not say whatever you want? And be as, I guess, hateful as you want, as opinionated as you want. How do you deal with all of the critique of your videos, especially if you're starting a channel, it's early on, you don't know how to handle the responses that you're getting and that sort of thing? It's difficult at first, obviously. Years and years ago, it's harder for me to remember at this point just because I was a lot younger at that point. I wasn't really serious about it. I didn't really start taking YouTube seriously probably until 2013. That was just on one channel. Then I watched the other channel as well, and obviously at that point I was pretty much totally in and invested in it. But you can start to see these comments pop up, especially as your channel grows and whenever you're making more opinionated stuff. This is a topical type video. Respect other people's
my
taste in
rants.
music.
This one right here got a lot of hate from fangirls.
Right. You can see, there's a few others in here, why I don't like fandoms, why, you had another one recently, not too long ago, I think. Just really anything, even bands, I just used it as, the grew to love. People will find something to pick apart on it, and it can be frustrating whenever you put hours and hours into a video and say that there was, one little mistake in it, or if you said one thing that was accidentally factually incorrect.
They only comment on that.
Right.
Or you messed up editing right here.
Right.
That's all they say.
And I'll be like, that's what you took away from the entire 15-minute video. Cool. No, but in order to respond to that, I know it's something that, especially for you, being a little bit newer on YouTube, it's tougher. So I'll let you kind of.
It is hard to kind of just read them, especially when you're not getting a ton of comments. You're not a huge channel. You're gonna read every comment that you get. So when a couple of them are really rude, it's I don't want to do this anymore. Everyone hates me. But you get used to it. You have to have thicker skin to just kind of I usually just remove the comment, or sometimes I will reply and just mess with them back. Or we think it's funny. Some of them are so ridiculous. The grammar on some of these long paragraph hate comments are just ridiculous. So you just have to laugh about it and say they literally don't know me, so it doesn't even matter.
And it's always funny to grab a screenshot of it too, throw it up on Twitter, and just have everyone laugh.
Yeah.
Have a good laugh at what's going on, because if you don't laugh at it, it can probably beat you. It can beat you down, tear you down, make you lose your spirit and that sort of thing in terms of content that you're actually putting out and that sort of thing. As far as tips, I guess, and tricks to get past the hate, especially in early day, YouTube's got great features like hide this user from channel. That's on the comments.
That's my favorite
thing.
And
the best thing about it is that they have no idea that they have been silenced.
They can still comment.
And it shows up on their
end. For their account, but no one else could see it.
So they're sitting there raging at the keyboard all day, and they can say whatever they want to. I'm never going to see that comment.
Exactly.
They're going to see it. They can go back anytime and see it.
But they're no one's replying.
No one gave me any thumbs up on this comment. I thought that somebody would reply. And another really nice feature on YouTube is muting certain keywords. It will throw them into the spam folder. It's something that I guess you can go through and approve them if you want to.
But they don't show up public.
Right, they won't go public. And basically, you obviously racist things, slurs, just things that obviously you don't want to see on the channel in the comments, especially once it gets to my level and I'm getting. God, let's go to a recent video.
Yeah.
Now this one was a very opinionated video, so I got an ad. I gotta watch my ad, guys. Sorry, I gotta make some money. We'll skip it though. So on this one, you can see this is a band that I talked about. I gave this a positive review, but in this I kind of talked about how I've never really been a fan of this band in the past and that sort of thing. And you can see, okay, almost 1,000 likes, but at the same time, 150 people didn't like my opinion, or they didn't like, I didn't give it the perfect score, or I didn't, I mean, normally I will say that's a very high dislike ratio. Just for example, in comparison, let's see, like that. That's much more normal as far as what people see. 714 to 32. That's not that bad. But still, you go down to the comments. Here's this great feature that I was talking about. Oh, wait, I'm not logged into my account. I can't do that. Never mind. Well, normally there's just a little drop-down icon right next to the comment, and it'll say, "Hi, user from channel," and boom, completely gone. Yeah. But what did I bring this up for? I can't remember. Yeah, you can.
People give you ideas.
Yeah, and that's
the top comments.
Exactly. Like the top comments are really easy to kind of sort through.
It's nice because people can vote and they go to the top, so like we know what the viewers want us to do next or whatever.
Right.
It's nice.
Oh, and this is always a fun thing. I see that my own comment here. Yeah, copyright issues are something that you can deal with as well, and YouTube can be very, very bad at communicating with its creators. And I'm not sure how many of you guys are familiar with like fair use and that sort of thing, as far as like using clips for like context or a sample of like music. And I don't often have a problem. I don't think either of us really have a big problem with this, but like this video is just one. For example, I put a lot of work into a couple months ago. Got a decent amount of views, likes, engagement, that sort of thing, and then struck down. I appealed it. They didn't approve it because there's no one really to talk to at YouTube. You're talking to an automated system. So that's one thing that could definitely be frustrating about it.
Yeah, having to re-upload.
Yeah.
Especially after everyone already saw it, like you kind of lose all that.
Right, you can see how this one performed in order to its predecessor. I think it was about 25,000 views in a month before, and this one's been up for a week. And I mean, it's not awful, but I beat the other one. You can still see it in your video manager. But I think that what we were getting at though with like the comments and that sort of thing is like can be very helpful, but at the same time they can tear you down. They can try to, but at the same time you kind of just really at this point like hold your ground. You know your point, reply to some of them, troll back. And as far as like the actual videos itself, like in this one, you can see in the description here, you can see, take my Green Day quiz, download this app here. Sponsors. Sponsors are fun because sponsors pay you, because even when YouTube's not paying you, sponsors can still pay you. And that's
their app.
Exactly, like at the beginning of this video, or as I mentioned it again at the end, you can still see in the description there, like I've got the links to like download the app that I plugged in the video and that sort of thing. And that can be something that's really helpful, especially if you're having a slow month or you're in an ad crisis like YouTube's been going through recently. To have advertisers like that or Patreon account is very helpful.
Yeah.
And you want to tell us about the sponsor that we both had?
Recently, it was like over a month ago, but both of us, we both use an app called Symbol, which is where you can just like post a song. It's kind of like Instagram, but with music. And they actually asked us to do like a little giveaway, and they would pay for it. Like give our viewer, we got 2 winners who downloaded the app and followed us to get a vinyl copy of something.
Like a couple of give away a couple of like records and like headphones and that sort of thing.
Like some other merchandise like that. And all we had to do was kind of like talk about the app a few times, and we get paid like every time we talk about it in the video. We did one of them together, I think.
Yeah, so we did.
That's very helpful.
It is, especially like whenever you, especially loving music and that sort of thing, and you want to talk about other
we try to talk about stuff that our viewers are actually going to like. We're not just going to talk about like some gaming thing or something that
go download Best Fiends that I always see YouTubers talking about. Go get this app. No, we try to talk about things that actually relate to the channel and music and that sort of thing. And at the same time, because you don't want to alienate your audience and just feel like, you're a sellout. You're talking about this random app that has nothing to do with your channel. I mean, I could do that, and people probably wouldn't be that mad. But at the same time, I think it's more of like an integrity type thing. Right. Right. Like I try to take only the offers, or else there's cool places like there's a site called FameBit that you can go to. You can apply to get sponsorship, and this is one that actually reached out to us. You've worked with them in the past to the Amino apps, but that's kind of like what goes into the weekly, monthly, and just overall picture whenever it comes to making money, building your channel, and I guess as far as like even those top comments and stuff goes, getting ideas. You want to make the content that people are looking for from you, and you realize that more and more. I think the more that you grow your channel, the more that you know like people like seeing like reviews of brand new songs, or people like talking about current events like the Super Bowl halftime show or the Grammys, or other like random sketches and sort of thing. Like this, scroll back up. Go to the final one. Like that one right there is probably the hardest that we have ever worked on a video.
I wish I could put that on my portfolio. It's so good. It's so funny.
It's something that obviously won't make sense to everyone, but in our like community and that sort of thing, it's something that makes sense. And it's not the most viewed video by any means. I mean, we're happy with how it turned out, but at the same time,
it just was a lot of work, a lot of filming, editing, like mainly editing. Like I spent a long time on that.
Right, and you can kind of see the reaction from like viewers and that sort of thing. Like even though like maybe it's not the most viewed video in the world, you see the fan engagement is super high on that. Like a lot of likes, a lot of comments, and that sort of thing. And obviously, it's another thing. I think that at the end of the day, you have to enjoy what you're doing. You have to enjoy the type of content that you're making. I could sit here and review every new song that comes out, and I would hate my life. Because that would just be awful. Like, oh wow, I reacted or reviewed to this brand new song. Like, I wouldn't care after like a month. And you have to throw other things into the mix. Like, I've got like other series that I do where like I do like rants on topical things, or comedy sketches from time to time. Yeah, you can see like different playlists and stuff like that. 7 on Sunday, music video reviews, track reviews, CD collection, vinyl updates, rants, problems, news, all sorts of things. And so there's a lot of different things that go into a channel. And you have playlists on your channel?
Yeah.
Let's see what we've got. So you can see kind of like what Hannah does with her channel as well. We're both kind of in the same lane, but at the same time we're not, because you're not. I guess I would consider myself more of like a music critic.
I'm like an influencer. Like I talk about music, but I don't like necessarily critique it.
And I think I've kind of branched out more into both, where it started off as just reviews. It kind of branched out into, I guess, more of like a discussion. And a lot of it is more like from a fan's perspective type of thing, and I think people connect to that a lot more.
One of my series that I do that helps a lot of fans, I think, get an idea about like a certain concert. Like if there's a big tour going on, I do concert diaries, where after I go to a show, I'll come back and kind of sit down and talk about my experience, what you can expect. And a lot of people, enjoy that, especially if like they live in a different country where that band may not go to.
Or not for a while.
Yeah, so a lot of people like to watch those because I filmed some clips of it as well to kind of give them an idea of what it's actually like to see that band live. So.
Yeah. As far as like everything that we've talked about here today, I know it can be like a little bit like just kind of like, I don't know exactly what this is because you don't do it yourself, or maybe you don't even spend that much time on YouTube. But we would love to, like, if anybody has any kind of questions or anything, we'd actually love to get some questions from you guys, because we really don't get this kind of like we're talking about
people in front of us.
Yeah, we're talking. We might be talking to 30,000 people like on a video, but to us and to them, it's like a one-on-one experience, because they're watching us on their phone and we're talking just to them, or else I'm talking to a camera. So we're never talking to like a room full of people, because it would be hard to imagine talking to a room of 30,000 people. So if anybody has any questions at all about like YouTube experience, like we would love to get at least one. Somebody got a question.
How did you guys come up with your name for your channels?
Good question. Mine was the stupidest thing ever. It's like these bands that name their bands and then they hate it afterwards. Like, I know the band Foo Fighters hate their name because, like, what kind of name is Foo Fighters? ARTV used to, let's see if it still shows up in the URL. If you actually go to ARTV, let's see if you can see. Oh, there it is. If you can see up in pasta, you can see up here. Album Review TV. I've changed it and everything. You can edit it because Google owns YouTube and all that good stuff. You can edit your name. ARTV originally stood for Album Review TV, the most basic name in the world. And I hated it. And it also kind of puts you in a box as to what you can do. Because if people like come to your channel, they're like, oh, Album Review TV. I guess I'm gonna watch 8 hours worth of album reviews.
Yeah. My name is actually a play off of one of my favorite albums, Infinity on High, which is by Fall Out Boy, so I just did Infinity on Hannah. Kind of stupid.
And you used to use your actual name on YouTube, but then it's just like, oh, I don't know how many people I want to actually see my name on YouTube publicly.
It's kind of awkward.
Yeah.
Why did you search your name first, last name?
Because it used to be that, and it was still like on some of the videos and that sort of thing. Maybe, I don't know if it was in the tags or how.
It's probably just because it's like embedded into the
in the original
Couple
search
uploads
results.
that I had, yeah.
But yeah, it's obviously ARTV. That doesn't stand for anything now, as I've told viewers plenty of times. And then just beyond, I created that channel because I wanted to do stuff outside of, like, I wanted to do stuff a lot of times, like more quick stuff, like these track reviews, generally just like a quick setup, stuff really quick, on the go type stuff, different types of videos. I wanted to have a different channel for different content, and I never really thought that I did the reaction that I did on this channel. Honestly, this one could overtake the main channel within like the next year or so, because it quickly caught up. Like this time a year ago, that channel was at 7,000, 8,000 subscribers, and then it just blew up based on like me actually putting, I guess, more thought and actually uploading consistently. Because before that, on this channel, I uploaded probably about every like 2 to 3 weeks. Now I upload like 3 times a week.
Yeah, you've got more forward. Like I feel like also your channels are kind of split. Like some people are only sub to.
Yeah, some people only will watch one of my channels and they're like, "Oh, you have another channel?"
Yeah.
Oh, I only mention it in every video. All right, other questions right here.
I had two. One was probably stupid. What's fandom?
Fandom.
It's like a fan base, like, I don't know, like bigger bands or artists, like on Twitter, like the fangirls will kind of gather and they call it a fandom. It's like a group of fangirls that are like crazy about a certain band. It's like really
yeah, basically like that in a much more intense form. Like,
Also, do you guys have like any music backgrounds since you guys teach music?
Oh, my music background is my mom was like a choir teacher and that sort of thing, and we don't, like, my parents, like, they get it at this point. For the longest time, they didn't support it because they're, like, into, like, classical music and, like, religious music and that sort of thing, and I'm like, not really, but,
No, it's actually funny, though, because none of it, like, we can't play instruments or sing or do anything, and that's kind of why we do this. Like, we like to talk about music. We're both huge music fans. Like,
right.
We always go to shows. Like, we're just really into music.
But,
it's
like,
funny
no
that
musical.
no talent.
I can play keyboard and, like,
I can
minimal.
kind of play guitar, but I'm not going to play it.
Yeah, we're not doing that. We're not doing that. I was in a band at one point and that lasted like a month, so.
What?
No, we're not pulling that video up. That still exists somewhere on YouTube, but no.
Claire.
Where do you guys see your channels going?
Well, as far as like goals, honestly, like I've more than exceeded, I guess, my expectations for
Especially in the last 2 years.
where I want to do. Yeah, especially the last 2 years, because for a while, I guess I didn't really have a set goal necessarily in mind. It was just like keep pushing, keep driving. That's really still the thing that you have to do.
That's
keep pushing,
pretty
keep
much
driving,
what I
like
do.
with the content.
Just
and that
see
sort of
where
thing.
it can go, you know?
Right, because if I had let off the gas pedal long ago, then down the tubes, you know, I never would have known that a channel could go from 8,000 subscribers to 50,000 in the course of a year. So if you stopped making content or something like that, then, you know, who knows what could have been. So
exactly, that's why you gotta keep just pushing through. Like, even when we don't have motivation, you just gotta keep doing it, you know?
Right.
People are gonna still be there.
Right.
So, I don't know.
Was there like a certain moment or like video that really boosted your popularity, or was it more just a gradual?
A lot of it was it's definitely both, because people will like kind of share it out, like from that sort of thing. Like if you find go to the most viewed ones. I have a popular series that I do on my channel called Problems I Have With, where I try to, at least for the most part, respectfully talk about things and issues that I see with a certain scene or band or whatever. And Problems I Have with Halsey is one that really did well for me. I probably gained about 3,000, a long just like a few weeks worth of like subscriber growth was coming in just from videos like that.
And it's kind of funny because that video got a lot of hate too, but it seems like more controversial stuff, like the more
edgy, I guess, you go with it.
Back
Yeah, the more people are like, oh, what is this guy going to talk about next?
Yeah, because you're not afraid to just say what you think.
And okay, disclaimer: I'm a fan of the band Panic at the Disco, but who knows the band Panic at the Disco? Okay. A lot of people. This video, you see Problems I Have with Panic at the Disco. Honestly, I was very respectful in the video. Hannah can attest to that as like a major fan of that band.
Somebody tweeted the lead singer of Panic, Brendan Urie, I think it was like a screenshot of your video or something, and he replied to it. So.
Yeah, and we got in a little bit of Twitter beef over that. We went back and forth a few times, and that was That was fun.
Interesting. But that got you a lot of subs.
It did. It did. A lot of subscribers came in from that. I was like, thanks, Brendan, I guess. But if we actually, let's click on the video and see what the dislike is like on this. 2,500 to 1,400. I don't even know. I'm not even going to go to the comments on that. That's a disaster. Yeah, I had to turn off the comments on that one. But yeah, it's kind of, with the gradual thing, I can definitely see it as like a lot of things like coming in. Like if you're consistent, things are going to keep going weekly because they know to tune in for album reviews. People keep coming in. But there's definitely big videos that can blow you up. Like you had a track review.
I did a review almost a year ago, I think.
Yeah, good, most popular.
It was of a 21 Pilots song. I'm sure you guys know how big that band is now. But it's pretty.
Yeah.
Most viewed video. And that one too.
So there's definitely like, and during that time period, you pretty much always see like a big subscriber boost during that time. Like you can go on things like it's obviously you can see here, but it's kind of cool to go on things like there's a site called Social Blade where you can kind of track like subscribers that are coming in daily and that sort of thing. And you can kind of see the engagement that you're getting. And it's not really super accurate in terms of like daily views and like the revenue that it estimates. But really the only thing we really use it for is like the live subscriber count, and it tells you how many subscribers you gain each day. So you go to that channel, you can kind of scroll down to the bottom to see the most recent days. Scroll down. So you can kind of see the past few days, like what we're looking at. Like yesterday I had a popular video, bigger boost than usual, 161 that day. And it stays honestly pretty consistent for my channel. I'd say anywhere between like 50 to like sometimes 100 subscribers that come in today. And it might not sound like a lot, but over 30 days, that's added up to, for the past month, like 1,800, 2,000 new subscribers or something like that. And about the same for Beyond ARTV, I think, as well. So.
It's the live count.
Yeah. Oh, wow, it just went up. Right. Did some of you guys just subscribe? All right.
Do you find that there's a specific length of video that's more
suitable to YouTube? Yeah. These days, it really just depends on like
it's
your
like a
content.
quick track, would be usually like a few minutes to get the point, you know?
Right. Like if you sit there and talk about one song for 10 minutes, people are going to be like, this dude's analyzing the hell out of this song. Like, why is he doing that? But like a lot of my series that I do are like more like countdown list oriented, so it's really easy to like kind of like run up to like the 10-minute mark, which is what YouTube promotes for. Sadly, it's true, but my content has really always been like more around the 10-minute mark.
Yes.
And so it's really easy to, honestly, if you're, I think the worst videos on YouTube in terms of like performance-wise and ones that YouTube will promote are just like the quick 2 minutes or less videos. And that, I hate that for them because like a lot of people like make quick creative stuff on YouTube, but it doesn't really do well a lot of the time. They put the 10+ minute videos like on the pedestal because that allows you to put more ads on the videos as a result of that. Because you can put in ad breaks like on like if you got a 10-minute or longer video. So that means that there's more advertising, and as a result, they make more money. So.
You guys do a lot of merchandise.
Merchandise, that's something that we didn't even talk about, but I do. You're going to be doing it soon. I started my merch store about 2 months ago, and we're looking for better ways to actually make more money off of it, because right now, like, we're doing it through Spreadshirt. We're doing it through Spreadshirt, and yeah, ARTV merch. Some of these are inside jokes from the channel. So, yeah, we won't show that one. So you can kind of see like some of the stuff that we've got here. I've got the Brendan Urie tweet on a shirt if anyone would like to purchase that.
I like this one.
So you can kind of see like, and there's some basic ARTV stuff, like like a few like inside jokes from the channel and that sort of thing. But I've had the merch store open for about like 2 months, and it's not like a huge source of revenue, but it's definitely like another supplement to it. What were you gonna say? Talk about what? Oh yeah, I'm branding right now. ARTV. This is the only one of these in existence. So
it's like actually.
It was like etched. It was like sewn in there, but that was a great Christmas present. Any other questions?
Okay, so when you first started out, obviously you made one video and nobody really knew to put a video on YouTube. So how did you like kickstart all of that?
I put up the first video.
You just like do it for fun at first.
I'm just gonna show you the oldest video that I have on YouTube, and you're gonna
look at that logo.
And look at this hair.
Look at this hair.
Click on the very first one. I made this in Paint, Microsoft Paint. Look at that. That's ARTV TV. That just screams subscribe. We're not. Okay. We're doing a live reaction to my first video. This is me in high school. I'm 25 now, but this video is me at age 17. So, how did it kickstart from there? Wow, after I put that first video on YouTube, who has confidence after putting that out in the world? It took me about 6 months to post another video. I think the second one I posted was like a review of the band Weezer, or in my notes, Taylor Swift. Oh, Taylor Swift, of course. And that boosted my confidence because the Taylor Swift fans are nice. But no, it took me a little bit to realize that, oh, if you upload consistently, we're going to keep going back. I know. So that's actually a good point that you bring up there, because actually neither of us knew about, I guess, other music channels on YouTube.
There's actually a community of us.
There
I
is.
didn't even know about it.
There is. There's people like me. I have no idea who these people were. I just one night I would keep telling my friends, oh, I'm gonna make a YouTube channel for this. I'm gonna make a YouTube channel for that. And then just one day I just made this random channel, and then 6 months later after I put up the first video, I was like, oh, there's another album I want to talk about. Oh, and there's another one, and then I just kept going. You can see, really at first, it was almost entirely album reviews. That's all I did. And a lot of these videos have been privatized, the old ones, because they're so bad. But I think, this one, that's a good one to show there. Green Day is my favorite band. This one right here got me a very big boost because no one else on YouTube in terms of music critics and stuff really covered that album for some reason, even though they're a really big band. And that one definitely kind of I guess skyrocketed my confidence a little bit more. I think really between there and somewhere I guess early 2013 is whenever I really started to take it seriously.
So since your channel's getting bigger, do you guys have to pay?
Oh no.
YouTube?
No.
Anybody can make videos.
That is the nicest thing about YouTube is we do complain sometimes about oh wow, such that there's no ads on this video. But at the same time, it's completely free. And there's no fee that you have to pay to be a partner or anything like that. We're both verified. You have to to be a verified partner though. But anybody can make money on YouTube.
You really have to apply. You just have to have
You have to have at least 10,000 total views, but obviously we're way beyond that point at this point. But other than that, YouTube, you're wondering how do they make it? How do they make the money? We get 70%, they get 30% on anything that's coming in. So that's why there's no fee or anything like that. YouTube's still making them money. Anybody else? Before we go? Before we can wrap it up? No? No?
Can you play one of your videos?
Do you have anything in particular in mind?
Do one of your collab ones. Oh, do the flower.
Which one?
I know about each other.
Okay. That's less embarrassing.
We have to play the whole thing. We can watch the ad too.
Okay, yeah, let's watch all the ads on all these videos real quick. Oh god, that's enough. Why'd you open the old ones?
I didn't.
I'm trying to embarrass me.
I didn't.
Alright, so we need to go to Beyond ARTV. Alright, so I talked about this series that I have called 7 on Sunday. We did a collab recently. We did one on both of our channels. Yes, we're watching the ad. 7 bands my girlfriend got me into, 7 bands my boyfriend got me into. And we don't have any sound on this. Oh, yeah. Is the sound on?
Show you guys some love with that.
Oh yeah, this is the sponsorship that we did. Start of the video. Very cool.
TV back for another episode of 7 on Sunday. Today I am here with my lovely girlfriend, who you guys probably know as Infinity.
I can't watch
Hannah. Today we're going to be talking about 7 bands that I actually got into as a result of her. Thanks so much for turning me on to these cool bands. A lot of them
Thanks so much for turning you on.
Yeah, that's exactly what we meant to say. I had an epiphany the other day, and I was like, wait a minute, you got me me into this band, you got me into this band, and you were like, oh, and you got me into this band. So we actually did a set of videos, one for 7 on Sunday here, and one that you can find on Hannah's channel, top link in the description down below. And make sure to subscribe to Hannah's channel. You're going to be seeing bands that I love because of her, and on her channel, you will see what?
Bands that you actually introduced me to.
Right, so here we go.
Have you had your fill yet? Do you need to keep watching? Good, cool. Alright, that's very awkward for us to watch videos around people.
We never watch our videos.
Even showing videos to like family members, I'll just be like, I'll give them my phone and walk away. Like, here, you can watch it on your own time. I saw you raise your hand.
How has your technology, your software hardware, how has that changed from your beginning?
Webcam.
Yeah, I used a webcam and a Windows Movie Maker program on Windows. Oh, that was fun. All the way up to, yeah, obviously I was putting a black and white filter for some reason on the very first video that I showed. I don't know why I did that, but it went from kind of like those type of videos and editing like on a very, very simple program because that was what was free on my computer to, I would think about a year or two, I got Sony Vegas, the editing program that I use now, and this is like Sony Vegas 8. Oh god.
Same.
No sound makes it even worse.
If you have not yet heard, Fall Out Boy are officially
The best picture of them ever. So it kind of went from, and you can see like the dark tone in that video, the way it kind of looks grady and stuff. We went from the Hoodie Allen one. Not Crew Cuts. Was it Crew Cuts? Yeah, no, it was All American. I had a failed green screen at the time where I didn't know really how to use a green screen. And it's on the main channel. And
that was so funny. You didn't even use it.
It's very.
Because it didn't work. It wasn't bright enough.
It's very embarrassing. I set a green T-shirt in the background, and I was like, "Oh, I can use that as a green screen." Except it didn't work. In the post, I just left the T-shirt hanging in the background. That one. Oh, Nature Valley really loves me. It's just like past like the long 30-second intro that I used to have. I used to have these really long intros. And just slap the album cover over it. That'll cover it up, John. So you can see, we've gone from filming in random locations to actually having a set background.
We have a studio.
And one of the rooms in my house is completely dedicated to YouTube. Like, it's just my studio that I use, and it's actually got like a set background. And instead of filming like on a webcam or on a really old camera, I now film like on a DSLR camera. I've got like a mic instead of just having like an airy room. I've got lights, like fluorescent lights, like in front of me, off to the side of me. I've got lights in the back as well to make sure the video is aesthetically pleasing as well. So that's been like a long part of the journey as well. It's actually like getting the equipment and that sort of thing.
It's so worth it.
Oh, it's definitely worth it because it drops engagement. And actually, I had a friend that was nice enough to invest some money, I guess, and I didn't ask for it, but he was just like, he actually designed the original version of these logos, and he bought me a few things like a mic, gave me some money for lighting, a mic, like a handheld mic for like interviews and that sort of thing. So my equipment game has gone from 0 to 100 in the past few years. Anybody else? It's really, that's another cool thing with like analytics. Well, we have to log into our account. No, because that shows like every other analytic ever. So with that, you can really go into your analytics and see, oh, you guys are subscribing, great. You can go in and see like where your viewers are from, and that's a really cool aspect, and you can kind of see, obviously the majority of them are in the United States, but I think we both have a pretty big UK following, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
And I know that there's people that I see pretty often, at least in the comments and that sort of thing, from like, I think Germany is another big one, and like Mexico, South America, so pretty cool to see, like people who don't even like primarily speak English are still able to like watch and enjoy videos.
Some of our videos have like the captions that some people wrote.
Right, some people will actually, anybody can go in and like contribute captions to a video, and it's really cool to see like if somebody actually went in and put that on a video. I'm really impressed with how this video is doing. Like, that's 21 hours ago to have that amount of views. Like, that's more than most of the videos will get in, like, that time.
Anyone else?
Oh, sorry. Go ahead. Sorry.
Sorry.
Did you guys ever meet, like, one of the bands or another YouTuber in like all of them?
Yeah, and that embarrassing green screen fail that we just showed, I've actually met and hung out with Hoodie Allen a few times. Me and him are actually, I won't say like friends, but like we're like friendly. We talk. Like he'll DM me sometimes like on Twitter and tell me like about new projects he's working on. Like, oh man, like I hope it's gonna get like a positive review and that sort of thing. But he's always like at the same time he's always like, but like I'm not gonna influence you. Just like I gave his last project like a 3 out of 5, which isn't that great. So like I try not to like be biased even if we have met the bands and that sort of thing. But
it definitely opens a lot of doors. Like we just did a podcast recently.
Yeah, and this is we chatted with Remo Drive, a band that's kind of up and coming punk band, which was really fun to chat with him at the end of that podcast there. We've definitely met, like, I don't know who all you've met over time, but...
I mean, it's not always because of videos, but, like, every once in a while the band will recognize, like, on social media or something, like, retweet, like, our videos or something.
Or, like, reply.
Like, Creeper,
yeah.
Another band that's up and coming.
And we went to the Maine, we saw the Maine last night, and they've reached out, I think, to both of us over social media before, and, like, it's just really cool to see, like the band, like, leave a comment on your video or something like that. And as far as, like, in real life experiences, I've interviewed a few bands.
We'd love to do more of that stuff. Like, we have a couple other podcasts where we're going to try and interview other bands, hopefully, in the future. Other YouTubers, too. We have, like, several friends in the community, but it's kind of hard to, like, meet up. Like, Johnny, we try to meet up with him. Johnny and Alex. My Digital Escape. I don't know if you guys know who that is, but they're on, like, a collab channel, but they're pretty big channels, but we might meet up with them.
Hopefully this fall. I met the band Linkin Park. If you've heard of them. Actually, I won a meet and greet to go there, and so it wasn't like, oh, the band invited me or something. But the cool part is that the lead singer walked up to me and knew who I was because of the reviews. And I got to take a picture with them and everything. If I could pull up my Instagram, I'd have to go way back, so I'm not going to do that. But give me a follow, ARTV Reviews on Instagram if you want to see that photo. Yeah, we've had opportunities. It does open doors to like even just chat with like artists, even if it's just online, or even meeting them at their shows. Because sometimes they'll be like, "Oh yeah, like come hang out." Like, yeah, exactly. Okay, you had a question.
Did you experience any fan shyness when this was out?
Oh, definitely.
Oh yeah.
Some of the awkward videos in the beginning, I can't watch them. Like I private those.
Like I said, most of them are.
I can't watch the one that we uploaded like a month ago. But like, imagine like years ago, like like it's so bad.
I can look back on them and laugh. But...
Yeah, but I mean, like you get used to talking to the camera. Like even I think doing videos has helped us both just like communicating normally, like the way we're talking up here. Even though we never really do this type of thing, but definitely helps like our flow of thoughts, just because we're so used to talking to a camera. And
before I started on YouTube, I was still in high school. I have an associate's degree in broadcast production technology, and I took several speaking courses, which was really, a lot of the stuff, honestly, from that, I don't really use for my channel, but the speaking aspect of it was a huge thing, just whether it be like, just being personable on camera, having a personality, not being afraid to have fun, not coming across as, oh my god, I'm so awkward, I hate watching this video. Why is this person so awkward on camera? Yeah, it's definitely evolved every time.
I think you get used to, though, every video you make, really.
Right, I think just doing presentations, even like at school and stuff, was like something that like helped, and just like the speech classes for me. Like, I'm from the South, so like I used to have like a pretty bad Southern accent. And I was mostly able to shake that. It'll still come out sometimes, y'all. But, yeah, it gets easier over time, honestly. Like, within, like, I would say, like, 2 or 3 years. Obviously, I wasn't uploading as consistently, but within, like, 2 or 3 years, I was talking pretty comfortably on.
You want to present yourself.
Like, especially if you're doing, like, a ton of videos, like, you can't, like, every time you get on camera.
You can't just be boring every time. That's why people watch, because you're entertaining.
Right, and I think that you kind of shake off the shyness, because if you're literally filming like 6 videos a week, you're going to forget about the fact that you're just in front of a camera and you're just going to talk, because you're just like, oh, I got to do this video, then I'm on to the next one. So, Anybody else?
Which kind of videos are the most popular?
Well, honestly, it can vary because with mine, they're usually very popular based on like what band I'm talking about. You know?
If it's like a song that just came out or like a news story, like everyone's like searching for it, like so they'll click on that video. But
or if it's like a really popular band, like for example, that video that I had up a minute ago, like Gorillas, they have a very engaged fan base, and that video has gone exceedingly well for me and like unexpected. So it really just depends on, I guess, the fan base for the artist and that sort of thing. Like and there's a fun one because you got to review. Like I like to review like all types of bands because you got to give the smaller guys some love too. But you know those videos aren't going to do as well.
sadly.
So, but at the same time, it's not really a passion project. But at the same time, like I like to do all types of videos just so that I don't burn out on just talking about like the most popular people in the world.
Yeah.
So, but like as far as like actual videos on the second channel, I would say like my like rants and like problems I have with are pretty like popular just because they spark obviously either anger, agreement, controversy, whatever it might be, but it drives people to it and gives them to share it. Right.
I know you said you want to make a career out of this, Hannah. Is this the direction you want to go?
Probably not. Like, I just do it for fun, but like, I can make money on it, so that makes me want to keep doing it.
And it's always something like you've said. It's always something that you've said plenty of times. Like you're not opposed to it. You're never opposed.
Like
to
if it goes that way, then yeah, I'm gonna keep making videos.
Right.
But for right now, like I just do it like on the side, like for fun.
And that's what I do for the longest time.
But now
Until,
you're
like,
actually realizing.
like, hey, I could do this.
Yeah.
And like within
I
like
just don't want to stop now.
and like within the past year, especially, like you see like the revenue go up so much that it gets to a point where it's just like I'd be a fool not to go for this, you know?
Yeah.
Especially if it's something where I just like I don't care about my other job and I actually do care about this. But I'm in a really cool position because I work at my other job is very flexible with like hourly monthly things, so it's allowed me to work a lot more time and effort than actually maybe go full time with it. Anybody else? All right. Well, thanks so much for listening to us talking about YouTube today, guys.
Subscribe.
Yeah, I feel like I should do my outro now.
Yeah.
Thanks for watching our presentation today, guys. Leave a like on the presentation. Let us know in the comment section down below what other presentations you'd like to see us do. If you'd like to see my Patreon, you can go to patreon.com/ARTV. If you'd like to hit us up on social media, all the links are on the channel. And other than that, we'll see you in the next class. Thanks for listening, guys.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us. Yeah. Well, let me